100%. That's why when you mentioned do the research, and some people get stuck on the bench just doing research over and over again, that's where the support group or what we do for a living as coaches, to the accountability partner, they can help you step by step to be that mental support, to be that person that challenges you, to help you chart the course. If strategy and tactic is what you might desire, then we can help you get off the bench and get in the game. Or if you're always in the game and never pausing, to re-energize, refresh, to learn, to get better by working on your game, we can also do that. I did not mean to turn this into a plug for coaching, but you are an excellent coach because you just coached someone in challenge by sharing your story of how you overcame your challenge. I think there's no better way than to be able to say that you did it. This is how I did it. This is what I recommend you do. So I love your story. I would love to highlight everything that you are creating, that you're a part of in the world, Saiyyidah. And I'm highly biased. I'm a big fan because you've had influence on me. And for those of you that don't know, I think I shared this with Saiyyidah some time ago, that all of this technology that maybe one day you'll see on my YouTube channel, whenever I put that up, you'll see that I've got a high def camera, I got this nice tech setup. That's all from Saiyyidah because she taught me the tech setup. And the funny thing is, when we got started today, we were hearing all kinds of reverb and stuff with the microphone, and it took like 8 minutes to figure all that out. But either way, I'd love to hear, what is it that you're creating and where are you leading people in the future?
So I think, I suppose I'm going to answer that question by kind of saying, what do I think my life's work is now? And I know it sounds really fancy, but I've been having lots of thoughts about that. When you submit a thesis that spent, you've taken 8 years working on, and you receive feedback in the oral defense, it's a big deal, and it makes you pause and reflect on what you want to do and what you've done. And I think for me, one of the things that I really want to do is to enable people to have better conversations. So how do we listen? How do we ask? How do we hold space? Because when you can do that, actually, you're able to cultivate belonging and understanding for yourself and others. And I think this is what being human is about, really. It's about creating that space. It doesn't have to be within a formal coaching setting. I think that is a particular scenario. But for those people who aren't coaches, actually, you can listen and you can ask questions and you can improve someone's month, forget day, just by a 2-minute interaction in a coffee shop or in a car park or a supermarket. And I think that's the kind of influence that's really, really significant. So for me, all of this then leads to this piece about us understanding who we are much more. And there's that work on identity. And then how do we relate to each other? And then the process of doing that. So for me, the work that I do as a coach is more than just using a process. Actually, it's about using coaching as a methodology to enable enhanced human interaction and to enable people to really experience what human flourishing is for them, for their interactions, for their communities, for their workplace, and it goes on. We live in really, really challenging times where, we've got, it's not even one global crisis, it's multiple that are happening. And you kind of wonder, how does one enhance the experience of life? And I think that happens through conversation and interactions. And sometimes you can even experience joy when you're not even engaging words with somebody. It's a smile, or it's that kind of sense of knowing that someone can offer to you. And I think those things are really powerful, but we need to be intentional about them and do more of them.
How have you built this intentionality into, say, for example, how you're showing up right now? How have you done that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And I think one of the things that we do now, especially after the pandemic, is that we run from meeting to meeting. or conversation or experience to experience. We don't stop and we don't prepare. So one of the things that I've built into my schedule is I have time where I come and I sit at my desk in advance. So before we began, before our pre-meet for this, I was at my desk kind of like 10 minutes beforehand thinking, well, what's my objective? What's my intention? How can I give all of these questions? And sometimes it's questions, sometimes it's just closing your eyes and allowing things to emerge and for you to think and get ready. But the point is, it's about creating that space so that you can stop and think about how you're going to show up beforehand, have the experience. And then, for example, after this, Matt, I'll stay at my desk for 5 or 10 minutes and just then reflect. What did I learn? What did I give? How could I be better? And it's these things that enable us to do that period of reflection so that we're learning about ourselves. One of the reasons why I love coaching is because it enables people to pause and experience a kind of process in a place where they're given that opportunity to reflect and learn and do it themselves in a way that, the conversations with your friends just will not be able to give you. And there's no agenda. So for me, this piece about kind of coming in and preparing and being intentional is really significant and is as important as the piece at the end, which then has that reflection. It's kind of like you need both of those in order for the thing in the middle to be optimum.